What is up, guys? Fonzarelli Fail-Handed here. Hope you guys have been enjoying the streaming of late. It is going to continue moving forward in a forwardly direction. Today we have a community replay from Dgen. That is my little nickname I made up for him on the spot. He is also known by Mashman90, big World of Tanks guy, and apparently a big World of Warships Legends guy. He is in the New Mexico, and he is just straight laying hatred. Now, unfortunately, we did not get the very tippy top beginning of the shoot of the video here, of the footage is what I'm trying to say, but we have enough to really see this battleship go to work. I mean, man, there is decoration from multiple angles, and you know what? I just got this ship, so I'm a little jelly. I feel some type of way. Anyway, he sends this to me from his channel. Now, his channel, you're going to find below. You need to go down to it. You need to hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. It's going to be down there at the very bottom, underneath the end of the description. It's going to say Dgeneratio1 or something. I don't know. Anyway, you need to hit that, and you need to go, because he has loads and loads of videos on his channel of him just straight regulating laying hate. And if that's what you guys are into, I highly recommend you check that out. Moving on. Now, if we take a look in the Citadel, we take a look in the top left hand corner, we see right off the jump the map is fairly spread out. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're holding the cap down. Now, what happens to this gentleman is he ends up getting pulled out of the cap by pursuing the bad guys, putting them to the sword, and that's something, you know, he made it abundantly clear that, you know, he admits he kind of messed up, but, you know, I don't know, I've seen the footage, I watched it. I think that if he didn't leave the cap when he did, I think he wouldn't have anywhere near as much damage, so, you know, something to think about, because he does end up pulling a ton of damage. Now, you know, right now, I mean, we're sitting on a decent amount as of current, and it just ends up going up. We end up making a lot of good shots, and you'll notice he does the thing that I have such a hard time in battleships doing, is being actively on fire and not, you know, he not fixing it right away. The old adage is, in battleships, you're only supposed to repair fires when you have multiple. You never want to put out just one fire. I mean, granted, you know, obviously there's circumstances, nobody's around you, nobody's firing at you, you're not detected, what have you. And he battleships away. He's on fire, and it gets very interesting, this match. And if you look at it, what I was doing is I was looking at the top left hand corner, and I said, well, you know, the way it's going, it's not necessarily going to be long and drawn out, but, you know, big surprise, it is. Just kind of because, you know, the way the map is set up and the way the PCs are out there, at one point there are 2 or 3 players on the far eastern side, and they are blue guys. They are on our team, and they're just kind of posted up in the middle of nowhere. So, if so many things didn't go in a certain way, then, you know, we wouldn't have been able to put up this much damage. Because, you know, if, say, for example, those 2 guys on the far eastern edge of the map ended up doing anything, pulling their weight, then, you know, perhaps there wouldn't be enough meat left on the bone for us to put up the kind of numbers we do. So, it's not just straightforward. And I've said this in my World of Tanks videos. If I have any new World of Warships Legends guys in here, I've said this over and over in my Tanks videos, is that, you know, you kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, well, you know, the grand scheme of things, you have to take everything into account, and that's what we're doing. Because if the teammates pushed any further, if our guys, you know, did anything else, then we maybe wouldn't have put up the numbers. I mean, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we are murdering the crap out of people. It took me a second. I had no idea who he just killed. I was watching the video. I had to do a replay. I had no idea. Boom, just somebody dead. Now we we are going back and forth with this Congo, and we are in oh god, we are in secondary range, and it is just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It is a scary, scary sight to see two battleships go in on each other like this, because there is just so much hatred flying through the air and so much death. You know, somebody's obviously going to come out on top, and this is, you know, honestly, you know, it's not a good position to be in, simply for the fact that, you know, from my personal experience, so many times I've been in here and I've been running the secondaries on another guy, and then all of a sudden, you know, I've got two other ships shooting at me in addition to the same guy. So, you know, and that's kind of what that's exactly what he has right there. And the bottom line is, you can't always stay out of cover. You can't always, you know, use the islands to your advantage. I mean, sometimes you're going to be out there and you're going to be caught up. You're going to be taking fire from multiple angles, because that is what battleships do. They take rounds, unfortunately. Now, we still have some life left in us, so, you know, don't write us off just yet. We're bringing her about. We've got a gentleman here to our 12 o'clock. We are going to try to send back to the water garage Moiki-Teak, if not sooner. We just kind of have to get our guns right. We have to get everything in range. We have to get loaded up, so on and so forth. Not a whole lot of a shot there, but we're going to go ahead and see if we can pull a Hail Mary across the mountain there, or the island, excuse me. We winged him. You know, it is what it is. Now, luckily, our back guns weren't finished catching up, so they are perfectly ready to be aimed in. So we are literally throwing rounds on each side of the ship. Very, very awesome tactic. I don't know if it's deliberate or if it was accidental. Either way, it looks sexy. Moving on. Now, as you can see here, top of the board there, you know, the teams aren't going good for us. The team, and I mean that by, you know, obviously more reds than blues. And as you can see, you know, it's just going south. They're on our cap. And at this point, we're starting to realize, okay, we have left our cap in a search of more damage. It was probably not a good idea. And this is what he tells me as soon as he sends me this video. He says, well, you know, I kind of fumbled, da-da-da. And I'm like, you know, you've done amazing damage. I mean, you know, I also said, he said, hey, here's the OneDrive link to the thing. I said, no, it's cool. I've already got it. He's like, that was fast. Yeah, I use a video catcher that I can just, you know, I can pull anything off of anywhere. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on, you know, we're trying to remove this last gentleman here. Not the last gentleman, but the last gentleman in this zone. And it's kind of getting to the point where, you know, we saw the other rounds go in there from the right to the left, and we assumed that guy would at least have enough to take him out. He did not, however. We're going to have to waste some more time trying to put rounds on him. Obviously, one more volley from us. He is going back to the water garage. No choice. It is happening. We managed to hit him there. Didn't quite, you know, hit him with enough to do him in. And we're just kind of tapping him. You know, I think everybody, including the guy who is piloting that monstrous BB, is both surprised that he's not dead yet. Still taking rounds from the left-hand side there. Not a fan of it. But you know what? Once we get this gentleman off the board right here, then we can kind of turn around. We can deal with that new threat, and then we can push forward, maybe even, you know, taking care of that cap situation. We're going to go ahead, fire 2 and 2, 6 rounds and 6 rounds, and boom. Back to the water garage for you, and now we're going to bring her about and push back down towards the cap. And, you know, we can't really depend on anybody else, because you know what? It's greens over blues. Now, granted, World of Tanks, it's a different color over a different color, but you get the idea. We want to be able to rely on ourselves, and that's what we're doing. We're going out here, we're holding it down like gravity. Nobody is having anything for us. 126k so far. 1-800 who won it. We are just making the magic happen, and it is wonderful. It is 100% wonderful. Anybody wants it, they can get it. We've got, you know, 12 guns for anybody. And that's exactly what's going on. And he is angling very, very well. He's just really making it happen. And when the shells come in, it seems like, you know, he may even have some dispersion bonuses going on for the bad guys. Now, we just took some rounds there from the left, which, once again, you've got to get used to if you're in a battleship. You're going to be getting fired on from multiple angles. And it would be nice if some of our allies would kind of jump in, take some of this pressure off of us. But this is the type of situation where we're going to have to do everything ourselves. Tap that gentleman right there. Got a medal. Making it happen. Fired the rest of the rear guns. And now we're kind of bringing her back about so we can kind of hit him a little bit dead on. We're kind of in a bow tanking position, if you will. Still taking rounds. God, it's not crazy about it. We're kind of in a position where, you know, in a flank position, and most of the time, in my case, by the time I turn around, excellent shot. By the time I turn around, the destroyer or cruiser or whatever that was shooting me has backed back around the island. So a lot of times it's not even worth it. Not even worth time to rotate the guns, in my opinion. So now we're bringing her about, and we are scanning the horizon, ready to engage these last couple of fellas right here. And, you know, our allies are doing something there in the southeast corner of the map. I'm not exactly sure what. They may not even know either. Either way, it is on us. And that is all there is to it. 139,000 damage. We are looking to make it more. Sending hate downrange as we speak. And we are looking to remove this gentleman off the board post-haste. Does not really happen for us. He's got someone else down there with him. We're going to try to bring it up here. Mainly we're just going to keep the guns on target because no one is really targeting us for a change. They're focusing on our allies, which is amazing on our end because we, you know, we need to have that time in between to kind of get our bearings. You know, and a lot of times, guys, when you're out there and you're being shot at by 3-4 different people, it is super, super confusing. And, you know, finally, we're looking back on this to where nobody is targeting us. Even if it was one person, we would be okay with one person. You can deal with one person versus multiple. It just gets really, really harder when you've got, you know, a third of the team shooting at you. And we've all been there. I mean, you know, all BB drivers, that is. I mean, granted, destroyer drivers possibly, but you wouldn't last that long to even notice it. But, you know, in the battleships, you've got the armor. You can go out there, you can make it happen. So, yeah. One of the first things I realized in a battleship was I was like, wow, everybody is shooting at me, and I'm burning constantly. Those are the two things I realized. Now, I also realized you have the power to straight up just delete someone, which is exactly what we've been doing here. But unfortunately, you know, that comes with a lot of effort, if you catch my drift. At any rate, moving on. We're bending the corner right here. We want to clear this island. See if we can see anybody kind of just creeping out. We finally have one of the allies with us. And we fully plan to use him as a meat shield when it comes to that time. We bend this corner. We don't necessarily have good eyes, good shots on anything, but that's fine. We're just going to keep pushing that area. We may have a tiny, tiny shot. It looks like that gentleman got deleted and deleted one of ours. So, it's really coming down to the wire. And we're just going to keep continuing pushing towards the cap. And, you know, we were really at this point, you know, 2, 3, 4, even 5 minutes ago in the game, we were really, you know, too much further away from their cap. It was kind of, we could go one way or the other. And the rest of our team was 100% cool with bad guys taking the cap. There's nothing you can do in that case. You can't be everywhere at the same time. There's only so much you can do. We're going to go ahead and throw some hatred here at this gentleman on the right. See what it does there. It looks like, not too bad. We hit him for a little bit, and that's fine. You know, you can't always expect, you know, citadels back to back. You know, you may be at the wrong angle, they may be at the wrong angle, what have you. You know, it's not always going to happen, and that's okay. We're bringing her about right now. We really want to get some good shots in here, if possible. We've got rounds inbound. It is not going to be good. I'm afraid. Oof, we took a nasty hit there. And I say nasty, it wasn't super nasty, but considering how much health we have, it was nasty. Oh, deletion! Citadel hit, deletion. Fantastic. One gentleman left on the map. It is our job, our duty, our goal to bring her about and erase him off the map. Now, we're going to try to go ahead and get a firing solution while the guns are loading up, and we're going to see if we can throw some hatred down range. We fire half of the guns, and now the other half are coming online. We're going to go ahead and send those as well. And we've got rounds inbound, and that is the end of us. And the game times out. Perfect timing if you think about it. But, you know, I digress. Tons and tons of damage. Solid gameplay. 167,000 damage. Amazing, amazing, amazing damage. 167,000 damage. Going out there straight wrecking fools. Guys, really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to check out this gentleman's channel. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure to hit that notification bell. And also make sure to look out for my streams that are going to be going on a daily basis. We'll catch you guys on the flippity flop.